Hi everyone, and welcome to the Tourism Collab and to the Regenerative Tourism by Design course. I thought in this short video, I'd just outline the approach to this course. It's all about the you, essentially. And what's really important to me is that you understand the approach to this course, because once you understand the approach, you'll be able to really see the rhythm that's embedded in the course, but also how to deepen and to really take your learning that little bit further so that you can really transform the way that you think and you problem solve in tourism. So here we are, and great to see you here. Let's go. So what actually happens in the last couple of decades, especially since, the 1980s, 1990s, really, we've really been sort of so embedded in scientific thinking. And that has trained us to think and problem solve in a very hurried way. So, we've had to find solutions to problems in tourism that are timely, that are fast, that are efficient. And as a result of that, we don't really have a lot of time to think. And so we end up pulling down those solutions that are already in our head, the predictable solutions and the ways that we can solve problems using, what other people have done, or, just those pathways in our brain that we know how to solve problems in a very predictable way. But the problem with that is that it's not very innovative and it's not particularly fit for purpose as we move into a very different future. So I wanted to explain to you the process of actually working in this course and the learning process in general. So we've designed it around a kind of a yin and a yang approach. And in this yin and yang approach, what we end up doing is we really present the content, we dig deep down into that content, and then the next week we get to explore that content using case studies and using your own experience. And that's the beauty of the cohort class, because in our cohorts, there's people with hugely different experiences and perspectives and education and organizations that they work in. So being able to share our experiences in those cohort classes is really super important. So the way that we do this, and I really talk about the you, we download the content. You actually have a look at the content. The content is on our Circle community page, and you can download it, read it, think about it, and then we present it to you. So we kind of double up, really digging down deep into some of that content before the next week. We actually follow up with some reflections, and that's where we get to ask questions. We kind of really excavate some of those understandings. And if we're really listening to the conversation, we may even start to shift our own perspectives or the way that we're thinking about, the same old ways that we solve problems. So that's where we get to 3 in that really deep reflective process. As we start to really develop that, we start to communicate, and we start to have this really creative dialogue where there's this generative flow of ideas, new ideas, and we're starting to create new pathways to solve problems differently. And finally, after we're coming up out of that you, we're emerging into a future where we really feel empowered and we're really feeling that there's this authentic co-creation going on. And then we're not really just working to the particular agendas that we need to pursue in our work. So I find this you a really good metaphor to keep in mind as we're moving through the content sessions and also the question and answer sessions. Now, I also wanted to point out in this intro that regenerative tourism is a huge mindset shift. It is the paradigm change that is going to happen whether we are ready or not. And a paradigm change is all about shifting the way that we think, we relate, and we problem solve. And so right here, right now, you're in the right place to learn design thinking strategies and to learn some tool or have some tools available so that you can really start to unlock this new mindset and this paradigm change. And where I'm going with this is that it requires that we unlearn and we use both critical and creative thinking to reframe how we relate to people and how we think and how we value tourism in our lives and in our communities and in our organisations. So essentially, at the end of the day, we are shifting from a scientific mindset to a holistic learning process where we're trying to channel both our heads and the cognition as well as our heart and instinct or our gut. So that's the approach to the course. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is really merge the ways that we know things and to listen beyond just our brains and our cognition, to listen to heart and gut, to act in terms of our values and to really sort of tap into a more ethical, caring approach to the way that we're problem solving. And if we do that, we're going to find a new way of being in the world, a new way of demonstrating and articulating our professional stance in the world. And our goal is really at the center of this diagram to really achieve a kind of practical wisdom. So in this course, I will be talking a little bit about the theory, a little bit about the conceptual thinking, but we'll also be really backing that up with examples and case studies and really talking to you about some of the practices that we're actually really involved in right now. So in sum, I just wanted to sum it up by saying, keep a note of these points. So we want you to slow down your thinking. We want you to dig deep in the you. We'd like you to sit in the mess for a little while and really just enjoy sitting in the mess and the complexity. We want you to make sense of things in different ways and to really unlock some new, let's call them neural pathways to solve problems differently. And we want you to share these insights and really get the most that you can out of the cohort class and the relationships that you will develop with people all around the world. And finally, what we really want to do is reach beyond a scientific way of thinking towards a more integrated intelligence that combines heads, hearts, and instincts. But most of all, what we want you to do is really enjoy this class because we love teaching it. And we really think that everybody who's done this course in the past has got something different, but really something quite special out of this course. So enjoy, and we look forward to seeing you. See you soon.